Okay guys, so I'm going to do a quick YouTube video on a recent TikTok that I did, particularly because I get a lot of questions from dads asking me how they can make an application. Sometimes they fear they're not going to be able to afford to make an application. Sorry if I'm coming across a bit of a teacher, but I just figured this was the easiest way to actually put things out clearly. So the form that you're going to use is the C100. Now I've done a previous YouTube video on this showing you how to complete the C100 and what each of the sections means in that form, but that's just a reminder there. The steps is the same to the financial application that I did previously in the YouTube video. Step number 1, you're going to do a letter out to your ex, okay? Letter out to the other parent to say, I would like to have some contact. I don't think there's any welfare concerns here. And this is the kind of contact I'd like. So I would like. So be really transparent to them, and always remember when you're writing to the other side, and when I say a letter, I mean an email. Try and keep it to an email as opposed to a text, because you may want to use that email as an exhibit to any statements that you're doing later on, okay? You may get ignored. They may come back and say, no, we're not in agreement to you having contact with the child or the children. So your next step is to contact a mediator, all right? Now, if you have a low income, you may still qualify for legal aid when it comes to mediation. So again, reach out to the mediator. And what you're going to say is, look, I want to have contact. The other parent is saying no. I'm hoping that we can resolve at mediation. The mediator will actually contact your ex independently of you. They'll call them or they'll email them. If the ex says, no, I don't want to go to mediation, or simply ignores the mediator will give you the MyAMS form. That's the form that you need to attach to your C100 to make your children's application. So even if you think mediation's not going to work, why am I bothering Trace? I'm not going to go to all that bother. You have to do it. It's a necessary step in order to get your MyAMS form. You may be exempt from mediation. And I was chatting to somebody last night and said this to them. And his response was, well, how do I know if I'm going to be exempt to mediation? It'll be on the form. Take a look through the C100 form and it will give you, it's about 3 pages of all the reasons that you may be exempt. Domestic violence, they live in another country, or they're in prison maybe. So have a look at the exemptions to mediation. But if you aren't exempt, then you're going to have to get a MyAMS form from the mediator. And as I say, with the cost implication, you may get legal aid. If not, you're looking at about £100 to get that form sorted. Once you've got your MyAMS form, you're then ready to make your court application, which is your C100. Take a look back at that previous YouTube video I've done if you need a refresher on how to complete that. Fill that out, send it into court. The court fee is £232. However, you're not going to get legal aid for a children's application like you might with the mediation. But if you are on a low income, you may qualify for fee remission. What that means is you may get a partial remission, so you may get some money off the court fee, or you may get a full remission, so you might have to pay anything. In order to find out if you qualify for a fee remission, go onto the court website and download the EX160, okay? It's a help with fees form. You'll complete it, you'll do this before you send in your application. You'll complete your EX160, you'll send it into court, they will assess it for you, and if you qualify, they'll give you a help with fees number, a HW help with fees number, HWF number, that you then put on your C100 form, and you don't have to pay the 232, or you might only have to pay £100, whatever they say. What that process is going to do is generate a first appointment, a children's appointment, and they are generally happening virtually now via what we call CVP, so the Cloud Virtual Platform that the court will email out to you. They'll sort all of it out. All you need to do is log in on the day. It'll happen virtually, and you'll explain to the court that you want to see the children, that there are no welfare concerns as far as you're concerned. If your ex turns up at court and says there are welfare concerns actually, then the court will investigate them. But the important thing is, don't assume that you can't afford to do it. Because worst case scenario, if you don't qualify for legal aid on mediation, that's going to set you back about £100. And if you don't qualify for fee remission, that's going to set you back £232. So you're going to be about 300 quid in, but at least you've got your first, and that's all the cost that's going to be involved. You know, if you then from that point continue to represent yourself, that's all the cost that's going to be involved. And at the first hearing, I would suggest that you possibly could do the hearing yourself, because you're just simply saying to the court, I want to see my children or my child, and they're not allowing me to. Obviously, if the other side then go on to raise allegations, you may then want to take legal advice. But again, you know, sometimes I'll just do a 1 hour telephone consultation with clients. That's all they need me for. They don't need me to provide ongoing support, just a quick 1 hour to let them know what their position is, what they're legally entitled to, and how they move on with the process. Okay?